Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Neek, and I am joined none other than Mr. Alfila, and he is going to be helping me tackle these topics. Y'all know that I have not been putting out as many videos as I can, okay? And we are going to knock out some of these topics that have been circling around the internet that people have been wanting, some input on, and we're going to talk about it. So in this video, we're going to talk about the Akon 911 call. We're going to talk about the Tiny and T.I. and Sabrina situation. We're going to talk about the man accusing Mary J. Blige of taking advantage of him being young situation. We are going to talk about Jcole in the basketball situation, and we are just going to dig into a couple of these topics that have been going around social media, okay? But before I get into that, if you guys are new here, my name is Neek, and over here we are the Night Owls. I have a website that you guys can visit and shop, and it is spelled exactly like my channel. It is neekatnight.com. If you want to join my channel, you can do that. If you want to support my channel and send in whatever you want to send in, all the information to support me is scrolling down below across the screen. And I will have new goodies added to my website very soon. Now, with that being said, the first situation we're going to get into is the Akon 911 call. Now, when I first heard this 911 call, I thought it was so hilarious but unprofessional at the same time. I thought the 911 operator just did not have no heart for his poor car being stolen, and she could care less that day. Fila, he feels opposite of me. He feels like, hey, it is what it is. And we're going to get into it. Those of you guys who did not hear the 911 call when Akon got his car stolen, I'm going to play that for you guys, and then we are going to talk further on how we feel about it. Sound like a good idea? Cool. All right. So let me pull up the call because, y'all, people is putting it. Okay, so let me pull it up. This is the 911 call.
Yes, how you doing? Yeah, I was just carjacked at the gas station for my Range Rover.
And what's the address?
The gas station is 761 Neiman's Market. But I have a tracker.
Listen, 761 Neiman Marcus is not a street in the city of Atlanta. What's the address you're at so I can get a police out there to you? And what's the name of the gas station?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, ma'am. This is not the gas station. This is where my car is actually parked because I have a tracker on it.
What gas station you at? Have you made a police report?
Yeah, the police are on their way, but they've been on their way for a whole hour.
And you say you were carjacked?
Yes, ma'am.
At gunpoint?
No, I wasn't at gunpoint.
What happened then?
I was literally getting gas, and they just jumped in the car. And
that's not a carjacking. That's not carjacking.
Oh, okay.
Someone stole your car.
Yes, ma'am.
And trust, music doesn't need cognac to exist.
Okay, so that's the 911 call, and she was just like so heartless and could care less. Now me, I feel like, girl, it don't matter if it's a carjacking, a stolen car. You know what he talking about. Get somebody out here pronto, because the man car have been took, whether it's with a gun or not a gun. He don't know the correct terminology, and for her to try to correct him like, that's not a carjacking. I'm like,
well, look, let me cut in. She had to do that. Let me tell you why she had to do that. She is the dispatcher, right? So she either going to send the SWAT team, she going to send the code enforcement, or she going to send some local police officers that just do patrol, right? So she got to get the facts when she send it over the line, because that's how heavy they going to come. You feel what I'm saying? So when he's sitting there talking about it's a carjack, she might be.
The car was jacked, and they took it. They stole it.
But that's in slang terms. That's in urban, slangography, right? But in the terms of the PC code, it's like his car was stolen. Now, if they would have pulled,
his car was jacked too. Yeah. It's still jacked.
Right, but
jacked it.
But it doesn't rise to the level of a car jacking. Now, in the hood, when he called his homies, he said, man, they just jacked my car. We get it. But at the same time, you got to let the lady know what happened off the rip. You don't know what gas station you at. How you going to get a lady an address of whatever number you said and then Neiman Marcus? I've been to Atlanta 1,000 times. Neiman Marcus is over there in the mall. I can't even think of the name of the mall right there on the north end. But it's like, come on, bro. You don't even know where you at. And then from what I seen, I think he was at a Quick Trip or something like that. And then he said the police was there. He called the police an hour ago. They still ain't showed up, right? Okay.
I don't care. I'm going to call and be like, ring, 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 911. They took my car. Where are y'all at? Why is taking y'all so long? My car is going. I got the tracker and I know where it is. I got the drop on them. Like, what's going on?
Well, see, this is the problem. I think that he tried to use that, you know, who I am, celebrity kind of card.
He didn't say who he was.
Wait, somewhere in that tape, he said, I'm sure he said, I'm Akon, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure somewhere in there he said that. I'm just saying maybe he said that. But this is the problem. In a city like Atlanta, where either you a star or you on the way up, they see stars all day long at the Quick Trip, you know, down at the mall, everywhere on the south side, Alpharetta, everywhere, right? So you getting your car stolen, which right now is like a phenomenon in Atlanta, right? They stealing a bunch of cars, right? They waiting for people to run in the store, run in the mall, do whatever you do, just keep your car running. That's all they need you to do. And they out of there, right? So when he fell into that category, guess what? Ain't no 911, brother. They'll be there when they get there. This go on all the time out here. Sorry it happened to you, but it go on all the time out here, right? But he tried to throw the carjacking on top of it. And by the way, this the same dude that's locked up.
I don't think he was I think he was thinking in terms of how you speak, like they jacked it. Like, I don't think he knew, like, I don't think he was thinking like that technical. Like, if I say car stolen versus car jacking.
This what you can't forget, Neek. This is the dude that put out the song "Locked Up, They Won't Let Me Out."
What do that got to do with somebody
stealing the car? He know the law. He know the feeling of going to jail, right? So he know the difference between the carjacking and the auto theft. But he put the carjacking on there because he wanted an expeditious response. He's like, I've been carjacked. Send the helicopters. Send the SWAT team. It's Akon. And they like, negative. They'll be there in an hour or two. Hold tight. But this is another thing that struck me too. If you in Atlanta, right? You Akon. You ain't got no firearm to protect yourself. You ain't got no little sidearm, you know, right there.
What was he supposed to do? Shoot down his Range Rover?
No. You stop the dude from getting in your car. You say, hold on, bro. And he going to jump out for the most part. Or number two, why is you still at the gas station an hour later, man? You ain't called none of your partners, your people, your handlers, your security. Nobody. Man, you should have been somewhere, you know, chilling like, man, I'm over here in Alpharetta, man. They took my car down the way. I want to report it. Y'all see what y'all could do. It was just a Range Rover. I got a little $25,000 necklace in there, by the way. I know that's going to be gone, but I just want my car back. That's the Akon I thought I would see or hear from.
Yeah, but how do you know he didn't call his friends? His friends could be on a whole different part of Atlanta. Atlanta is wide.
Well, if you a star, and if any stars is listening to this, you know they out there jacking, you know they out there killing, you know they out there kidnapping, and they looking for easy licks from LA to Atlanta. You already know this. So don't be slipping. Let this be a PSA. Don't be slipping, man. Don't stray too close from your security and from those that in your time of need, you could blow the whistle and they'll be there ASAP. Because when you do that, anything can happen from hopscotch to murder. Don't put yourself in that trick bag, man. That would be my advice to any celebrity.
Well, somebody on the comments said if he ever had a felony, he can't have a firearm.
How many felons you know that walk around with firearms? I'm just saying. You feel me?
All right, well, let's start on the Akon bit.
I feel you, but thieves ain't playing the game fair. You know, you can write your own rules in there and you can substitute how you want to play the game, but you got to know how the wolf is playing the game because he's trying to eat. And if you walk around like a sheep and he bites you on your butt, shame on you, not shame on the wolf, because the wolves is out there. They trying to eat. You got to know that, man. You got to know that.
All right. All right, so now we are gonna go to the Jcole basketball situation. Now, as you guys know, Jcole was introduced to this new basketball league over in Africa, and they were saying that he was there to live out his dreams, and he was there to he had been working on his jump shot. That was a dream and a goal of his to go and be a part of the league. He went over there and he was a part of the league, and he did not perform well. Well, one of the MVPs on the team, they felt as though he was being handed a position that he didn't deserve because of his celebrity, and he was taking the opportunity away from a deserving basketball player who, took time to hone in on their craft and work on their craft. This is what he had to say.
Part of it is I think he took someone's job that deserved.
Oh, wait, hold it. Let me see.
I think there's a negative and I think it's a positive. The negative part of it is I think he took someone's job that deserves it. I live in the basketball world. I don't live in a fan world. You know what I mean? So I know a lot of guys who COVID stopped their career and they're still home working out and training for an opportunity like this. And for a guy who has so much money and has another career to just come here and average like 1 point a game and still get glorified, I feel like it's very disrespectful to the game. It's disrespectful to the ones who sacrificed their whole life for this. And the positive side of it, it brings a lot of attention and I guess money, but I don't really pay attention to that type of stuff. I'm more of like, I think there's a negative and I think it's a positive,
All right, so he basically said that he feels as though Jcole coming to the team was a negative and a positive. The positive was it brought attention to the team, which brought money to the team. The negative was he did not perform well, and he was taking the job away from a deserving athlete who was benched because of COVID and who needs that opportunity to take care of their family, as Jcole does not. Now, a lot of people said that he was hating. I don't think that he was hating. I don't think just because a person voices their opinion that's on a celebrity that may have a higher position than them money-wise, I don't think that always equates to hating. I think that what he said was correct. Like, just because Jcole is a celebrity doesn't mean that he should just be handed out jobs just because he's a celebrity. Now, on the flip side, like he said, Jcole coming to that team did bring attention to the team. However, as soon as Jcole left the team, the people who was only watching for Jcole are no longer going to watch the team anyways. So it's like, did he really bring a major benefit to the team? Because people, once he left, they're not going to watch the team anyways. So what are your thoughts?
I think you're correct in the sense that it's a negative and it's a positive. I think that the positive outweighs the negative because, first of all, celebrity, that's what comes with being a celebrity. It's just like someone could say, there's a shoe owner out here that makes better Jordans than Michael Jordan, but people only buy Jordans because he's Jordan and he's taking money out the mouth of some dude down the street making shoes in his backyard. I can go on and ever and ever and ever and ever about that, but that just comes with celebrity. I think the upside was way better than the downside because of this fact right here. Say hypothetically it's 5 people on their team, right? One guy didn't get to play because Jcole, right? Okay, that one guy, how many people could he have fed? We don't know. But say all the other 4 guys that did get to play. Imagine all the media, all the value that he brought to the team. We sitting here talking about it in a lot of other media outlets. So those 4 players, that whole league, that team owner, he probably bought more resources, more finances, just more notoriety to that team. People probably trying to find out who that team was to get the jersey or just different things. So in the aspect of one person maybe, suffering a loss, I get it. But I think as a whole and everybody else that still remained involved, I think they benefited for Jcole being there because as an owner, I don't think he bought him there to rap. I think he bought him there to fill up, the seats, to get more attention to the players, more attention to the brand of, their team and what they were trying to sell, all the products and merchandising. And, you know, sometimes, you know, when you're building, some things get lost in the rubbish, you know. That's just a fact. When you rebuild, everything don't stay the same when you tear something apart and you try to rebuild on top of it. You know what I mean? It's just, it's kind of how it goes, but I think the good outweighed the bad in that situation.
All right. And on J. Cole's exit from the league, he shared resources with the team, and he brought all of them gear. So upon his departure, he gifted his Rwanda team with gear, and, you know, he got them all new gear. So it says, J. Cole gifted Rwanda Patriots teammates and coaches with new gear.
Yeah, y'all got a hoop in them.
Okay, so there was positives for him being in that situation. He has now departed from the team. It is said that he averaged 5 points in 5 games, which is kind of horrible. I'm not even a basketball, you know, person, but that don't sound like good stats to me. But you know, it is what it is. Now, let's talk about this whole situation with Mary J. Blige and this guy who is coming forward saying that he got the nookie when he was 15 or 16 years old. Now, a lot of people were saying back in 1995 that would have made him 18 years old. I'm not sure how old that would have made Mary J. Blige. Actually, let me pull out my my phone, do my little Googles real quick, find out her age, and figure out how old was she at the time of this situation. But he is saying that he was 15 or 16. The math that people equated it to, they said that he was closer to 18. And so let's see, what's her date of birth? She was born on 1971. So let's see right here.
16.
She was 16?
She would have been 15 if she was born in 19.
She would have been 24.
In 1985?
1995.
Oh, 95. Okay.
Yeah. So 1995 would have made her 24 years old. So just to get proper ages in context. So she would have been 24 years old. He, according to the math that people have equated, he said he was 15 and 16, but people, they calculated it and they said that he was closer to 18. So it would have been a situation with an 18 and 24-year-old. Now, I'm going to pull up the article and read it to you guys, and you guys tell me what y'all think about it. Let me share my screen right quick and read what he has to say about Mary. So it says, spilling the beans is none other than soul singer himself, who claims that the relationship with the Mighty River songstress happened when he was 15 or 16. Now, I'm not going to read certain words because they are triggers for the algorithm, but this is the guy right here who is responsible for the allegations and saying that, you know, he was, I guess, a victim. Is he saying he's a victim of getting a nookie? I don't know. Let's read it and see. So it says, Mary J. Blige is accused of having relations with a young bull back during her heyday. Making the claim is Danny Boy, who said he started connecting with the Be Without You hitmaker after the 1995 Source Awards. Danny, who is a former Death Row artist, made the confession during an interview with The Art of Dialogue. He said after the awards show, he was in his hotel room with his god brother when his then boss, Suge Knight, told him to come to the hotel suite alone. In the suite, Danny said there were Mary P. Diddy's baby mama, Misa Hilton, and Devontae Swing's baby mom. They were allegedly just hanging out and drinking before he went back to the room. But sometime later, Suge called Danny back to his room and said, "Oh, girl, I want to see you." So the R&B singer, who is best known for singing the chorus of Tupac's song, claimed once he returned to Suge's room, Danny said he was shocked to see that it was just Mary and Misa in the room. I get up there to the room, and Suge is in his room, and Misa sitting in the bed with a sheet wrapped around her, and Mary sitting on the couch. Danny went on recalling, so I know the girl in the bed with don't want, I know the girl he in the bed with don't want me. So he closed the door and I sit down and I start talking to Mary. It says, Danny said that he and Mary had a talk in the suite while ordering more food and drinks. At one point, however, the Grammy Award-winning artist reportedly was spooked by a knock on the door because she thought it was her ex-boyfriend Casey from Casey and JoJo and Jodeci. After a few hours of chatting, they allegedly moved to another room in the suite. That's when things allegedly got more intimate between them. She's laying on the couch and I'm sitting on the other end and she said, lay on the couch and put her head in my lap. He detailed what went down that night. Danny further said that Mary tried to seduce him in the bedroom. After that night, he claimed that the R&B legend flew him out to visit her in New York more than 5 times, insinuating that they hooked up. For that reason, Danny said he was confused when he found out that Mary also had a relationship with Tupac at the same time. That's why I was kind of confused when I heard Kurt Cobain saying that Mary was Pac girl, because at the time, she was my girl. At the time, I'm 15, 16 years old, and she's flying in me to see her, he shared. So Danny is now 43 years old, while Mary is 50. And his account of his encounter with Mary is true. She would be 24 at the time. Right. I did the math, and that's how old she would be. So let's listen to what he had to say. It's probably what I just read, but hey, I didn't know this was at the bottom of the article.
15, 16 years old. And she laying on the couch. And I'm sitting on the other.
Oh, wait. Hold up. Let me play it.
15, 16 years old. And she laying on the couch. And I'm sitting on the other end. And she laid down on the couch and put her head in my lap. Like, damn. He can't be talking about Mary. Was talking about she wanted me to come back up here. And now she on my lap. And I'm sitting there and I'm wondering, I'm like,
oh,
15, 16, like, backed up against me. And every time she back up against me, I would move away and shit, you know?
Oh, come on, man. He lying.
One time I had an opportunity to go out to New York and visit her a couple more times. But, you know, that's why I was kind of confused when I heard Kurt saying that Mary was Pot Girl. Because at that time, she was my girl. At that time, I'm 15, 16 years old, and she flying me in to see her. And you know what it is when a girl back up on you, you young and shit, and I'm trying to show her that she ain't phasing me. I'm hard as goddamn. She's backing up against me. This is Mary J. Blige.
All right, y'all get the point. Y'all get the point of what he's saying. I want to know how we feel about it. What do you think?
Well, first and foremost, shame on you, Danny boy, because you're supposed to let those skeletons stay in the closet. And the only reason I say that, I know people are going to be mad at me. But
well, they're going to say, if this was a girl at that age, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
But you got to think about this, and this is something that we don't face in America that's going on to this day, right? We got 2 different standards for men and women, right? Like, we got a standard, if a guy knocked down a whole bunch of girls, he get a high five, he get the MVP trophy, free drinks at the bar on the weekend, right? If a female do it, you know what they call her, right? You know, if a guy walks out here and he wear, you know, provocative clothes, it's like, oh, he's a playboy. If a girl wear provocative clothes, she's a, you feel me? And one of the double standards that go with men is sexually too. You know, if you're knocking down grown women at 15, 16, ain't no man gonna come to your defense and say, hey, bro, what's she doing to you? And I'm finna go talk to her mother. They're gonna be like, man, you did that, bro. Now, let's take this.
People will bring up the situation with Boosie, where he hired a woman to
for his little son.
Ratio on his young children, which was wrong.
Right. But let me say this, though. You got to look at the context of this young man. He wasn't a 15-year-old in Catholic school You know what I mean?
He was closer to 18 when they did the math, but go ahead.
He was what?
I think he was closer to 18, like I said, when they did the math, but go ahead.
Okay, but my point is this. He was running around with Death Row Records. You running around with all the gangsters, the finest gangsters in America. You on tour with them. That's how you meeting all these people, right? You running around with Suge Knight, right? And I don't want to upset no communities because I love everybody, heterosexual, you know, or if you like women or if you like men of the same sex, I love you. But at the same time, Danny boy, you tricked us, man. You never wore what you was on your sleeves. You came out the closet after you got all our money, all the women's money. You sitting in there crip walking and Damu strolling with all the gangsters. And then at the end, you say, I just want to let everybody know that wasn't really me. You know, I really like men. You know, so for you to come back and tell somebody else's secrets and expect us to say shame on them, we're not saying shame on you, you know, for perpetrating that you was part of this gangster clique. But at the same time, you probably slept with some of them on the low. That's just facts. It could have happened, right?
Yeah.
So what you and Mary did, if y'all didn't squash it back in the day and you didn't bring it to nobody else's attention in private, whether it was her boyfriend, her family, whoever you had to discuss it with, right? I say, don't do it for the clout. Because to me, this seemed like for the clout right now. Back then, it might not have been beneficial for you to disrespect Mary J. Blige because, you know, Casey and JoJo was on death row. You was on death row. You don't want to upset Suge Knight. You know, now Suge Knight in jail. Death row ain't around no more. You know, Casey and JoJo doing their own thing. They probably separated from you. So now it's the perfect time. It's the perfect landing for you to land with all these truths that I do believe might be truths. But I don't believe that he has like a pure motive behind saying this. You feel what I'm saying? I think it's a little bit of kind of like, I think he low-key clout chasing. Like when he came out the closet, like you could have came out the closet a long time ago when people would have said, oh, we don't want to hear you on no more Tupac's records. You was like, no, I'm finna get all that. And then when it's all over, now I need a new story. Okay, let me tell this truth. And now you want to tell the Mary J. Blige truth. What's going to be the next truth? A star you didn't slept with? Because I'm sure you didn't slept with a gang of stars that we all know. I'm just saying at some point, you know, even if you like men, you still got to be a man, man. You know, leave that under wraps, bro. You know what that is, man. And shout out to anybody that's ever been raped, you know.
No R words, no R words, no R words, no R words.
That's ever been taken advantage of, male or female. I feel for you. But, you know, the man was sitting there laughing with a smile on his face telling this story. You know, I don't think it affected him, you know, like it affects people that really go through these traumas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just can't respect that story right there. And Mary, you know, Mary been through a lot already, you know, with her ex-husband and him dogging her out and the things she's been through, you know, even before that with Casey, you know, it's just like, she don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. You know, I figure that's something you did with her. You know, that was a treat for a young man. And you took that and you ran with that and you was cool with that. Don't all of a sudden, man, you know, not be cool with it because it might be more beneficial to act like it was a problem. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody in the comments said he consented, but legally he can't at that age. What do you think about that?
Well, first and foremost, we have to believe his story. You have to believe the story in the way that he said it, in the time frame that he said it. You have to believe that a man who acted fully, you know what I'm saying, heterosexual, but all the time was hiding a secret, ain't hiding no secrets out of this story. You get what I'm saying? This story could have happened. But maybe you got somebody in your ear saying, change the date, bro. You know, put it back to when you was 17 and a half or whatever year you need to make it more juicy. Because just saying you had sex with Mary J. Blige at this point, you know, that we all are mature adults and we got so much information, that's not a big story, man. But saying that you were underage, it don't matter who's saying it. It don't even matter who you are. So I understand what his point is, but we would have to take his words as facts. And I'm sure Mary J. Blige is going to have a statement, and we're going to have to sort through all this to see what's facts and what's not facts. But if he was underage and she took advantage of him, that was wrong. But I hate to say this, but this is just my reality. Where I come from, a 16-year-old, 17-year-old knocking down a 24-year-old, man, they're going to give you free liquor at the liquor store, man. They're not going They're not gonna get you a counselor and take you to the trauma center at the emergency room. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and she a celebrity too? Come on, bro. And I'm gonna tell you this, Danny boy, if you hear this, she wasn't even really sleeping with you, bro. It's just like how you take somebody around some stars, or you hanging with stars, so they might just give you some because you part of that clique. Man, she did that because you rolling with Suge, homie. You know what Suge meant to everybody back then. That was Big Suge in the other room. So you know, don't make the story like Mary J. Blige was just on you like that, man. Come on, man. She was on death row like that. She was on Big Suge like that, man. You should have just took your little, sampler plate that she gave you and just, you know what I'm saying, just ate that on the side, man, and been cool with that, bro. You didn't have to tell everybody that you ate like that, man. That's just how I feel about it, man. You should have left that alone, man.
All right. With that being said, we are going to go on over to this T.I. and Sabrina situation. So as you guys know, what kicked off this whole T.I. and Tiny situation with the allegations and all of that stuff was a woman by the name of Sabrina. She came forward and she made allegations that he held her at the head by gunpoint, and she got into it with him at his home, and she called him out for that situation. After that situation, she still wanted her child to be in T.I.'s face, and she still wanted him to be an uncle to her child. Now, when she didn't get welcomed back into the circle, then she came out with these allegations saying that, he held a gun to her head, and she blasted it on social media. Now, once she blasted this situation out on social media, saying something that had nothing to do with hooking up with three-ways, had nothing to do with swinging, had nothing to do with alcohol or drugs or anything like that, she came forward with her story. And then I guess out of the blue, women are contacting her about escapades that they had that had nothing to do with an abuse situation in that regard. She started sharing stories of women saying that, they got roofied, saying that they got, I guess pressured into doing three-ways with T.I. and Tiny. And a lot of people started to give them all of these allegations saying that they were, making women hook up with them, drugging the women, and, doing all of this kind of stuff. I never to this day have seen a solid receipt that even proves that any of the people that made allegations even know T.I. and Tiny for real. I haven't seen any solid proof. Some of the things that she shared, and I'm not saying that they're innocent, so don't twist my words. I'm just saying I like receipts, and I haven't seen receipts, period. Some of the people who she shared had been proven to be trolling. A lot of the people was like, oh, I just was trolling and fed her a story to see if she would post it. And she posted stories that were trolls. So after that was revealed that some of the people were trolls, I then did not see a follow-up with actual receipts that showed facts of who's actually a victim and who's just a troll. I still haven't seen receipts or any solid evidence for myself. Again, that's not me saying that they are innocent. I'm not in the bedroom with them. I don't know how they get down. I don't know what they're doing, So now she has caused a ripple effect, and she has damaged the reputation of T.I., and not only T.I., but Tiny as well. Shekinah was dragged into it because she felt like she was defending Tiny, and she made the situation worse. And now we are at a point where people are coming out of the woodworks. I feel like every other day it's a new person coming out saying that they were roofied by them and, made to be a part of this swinger lifestyle that they didn't want to be a part of. It's a new story every day. Still don't see no receipts. Anyways, so after Sabrina has caused all of this damage to their reputation, they had to stop filming their show. They had lost deals. They had to, forfeit out on a lot of opportunities. After she has damaged all of these things without me seeing a receipt for it, she is now coming forward and demanding an apology. And she says that if she gets an apology after all of these things have transpired, then she will just drop her suit. Now, she has brung other women into this. So for her to say, oh, just apologize to me, then I'm going to drop it. But what about all of the other stuff that has transpired as a result of what you have brought to the table? I don't know. But I'm going to share that with you guys, and I'm going to show you guys the video of her saying that, you know, she wants an apology or else. She gave T.I. an ultimatum and said that it had to be within 7 days. And if it wasn't in 7 days, then, you know, she was still going to go full force ahead with her suit.
Tell the truth about me. Tell the truth about what you did to me and apologize. I'm gone. I want one dime. I want one dime. And here's the other stipulation. Do it within 7 days. Do it within 7 days. Tell the truth about me. Tell the truth about what you did to me and apologize. I'm gone. I want one dime. I want one dime. And here's the other stipulation. Do it within 7 days. Do it within 7 days.
Okay.
Tell the truth about me.
So that is her saying that she's given him an ultimatum that he needs to tell the truth about her or else. And basically telling him that, I think in another post she was saying that she wanted an apology, blah, blah, and it had to be done in 7 days. So under that, T.I. commented and said, this is what it's come to. And then he put music notes behind it. And people were telling T.I. that they felt like she definitely was a liar. Now, in addition to that, T.I. also went to his social media and he basically responded, basically laughing at her in so many words by putting a picture of him at one of these, you know, events, laughing, saying an apology, Jcole's voice. Let me share that with y'all. Okay, hold on. Let me pull that up on the screen. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this was his response to her requesting an apology. In the caption, he put an apology, question mark, laughing emoji, Jcole voice. And then he says, what it's come to in the caption. So that is what he put 10 hours ago, and he is laughing at her about it. Now, some people feel as though, you know, well, just apologize to her and let it go away, but that's not how it works. Once you apologize, you have an admission of guilt, and that can be used against you in other cases or whatever. Now, they also shared their thoughts in church. They recently visited church and they said God is real and the devil is a liar, and they gave their testimony on Women's Day. So I'm going to show you guys that video, and then I'm going to get you guys' opinions. I'm going to open up the chat for you guys to give your opinions on the topics that we've discussed today. So let me pull up this testimony right here. So this is them in church, and this is what they had to say.
Siblings and family and friends. PL Rep Junior Concept Bible. This is one of our own, y'all. She a member of this church.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you to my church. I gotta always thank Pastor because Pastor calls me on a regular, make sure I'm doing good, you know. And thank you. I'm sorry that I'm so late. But I appreciate you for thinking about me and honoring me. You know, I'm terrible at speaking, so I just wanted to say I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be honored and thought about. Thank you for everything you do. Oh yeah, here's the speaker of the family.
I call Clifford just as much as I call Jamaica. Don't.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning and God bless everybody. I want to say it's a blessing to be a blessing. if I have one message, it is that God is real and the devil is a despicable lie. You hear me? Anybody who know me and know my family, more than knowing us as human beings, they know our hearts. And they know how much we are first on the front lines to do for whoever needs to be done for, and to sacrifice a part of ourselves to give to others. Because that's how we pray. We come from good stock. You dig what I'm saying? We didn't just roll out of bed and come to people, you know what I'm saying? This started, it was seeds planted way back long ago. Her longer than me, but way back. Longer for her than it is for me, but way back long ago, that was seeds planted. You know what I mean? The soil was fertilized, it was watered, and sun hit it, and love was put into it. And there were lessons learned, and it brought us all the way to right here. We didn't just roll out of bed and get here and just end up this way. You understand what I'm saying? And contrary to whatever you may pass by as you scroll on this fictitious universe that we all live in called social media. The real and the truth and the honesty of it all is that everybody is a culmination of their experiences. And I mean, we are all a product of what we've been through. We ain't never had nothing but nonsense handed down to us. Then when we see others, we're gonna expect them to be about nonsense. But see, I'm sorry if whoever needs to hear this, I don't know who it is. I'm sorry that I ain't the creep that you want me to be, but that ain't what I was raised to be. And I don't care how much you say it, it ain't gonna make it true for me. You did. I got a God up there. You understand? And he done put in me to take away from me. You did. So now I ain't gonna do too much talk because I always get to argue with preacher about me being a preacher one day, but that ain't my path. I keep telling you. But I'm gonna keep it all the way 1,000 with you. Anybody know me, man? You judge the character. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes, and you can see what I'm coming. You can see who I am. I ain't never heard from nobody. I ain't never ran from no person. Ain't nobody never made me toe tail, never. About nothing. And it ain't gonna start now. You understand what I'm saying? I have nothing but love and respect. Thank you for honoring my beautiful wife here. You know.
All right. So he basically saying, you know, he's not the creep that people are making him out to be. And that was his spiel. I'm going to open up the floor for you guys to chime in as we close out the show. Let me unmute your mic.
Let me say something real quick before you do that. This is my strong opinion. My vibration on that female that was talking, she was telling the truth. Y'all gonna have to prove me wrong. Number two, T.I. going to jail. And I'm gonna tell you why he going to jail. Can't play with God. And that's what he's doing behind that pulpit. Can't just anybody walk up behind that pulpit and use that pulpit for the backdrop of telling a so-called truth or defending themselves in the public eye. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like this. If you have something to say, throw your own little media event like you've been doing. You know, when you threw your concerts, you wasn't coming in there throwing concerts. You know, in my opinion, he figures that he's going to win the sympathy vote, you know, for people that attach themselves to the church. But God is not to be mocked. Look at how many chances he already gave T.I. when he had all the guns and he so-called told on Alpha Mega and he only went to the federal prison for a year and a day. He already showed mercy on that man. Look what happened to R. Kelly when he first got all this trouble he was in. God showed mercy on him. What did he do? He went right back to his foolish ways. T.I. going to jail for playing with God if for nothing, no other reason. We don't even have to debate, did he do it, did he not do it? I know one thing for sure that he's doing right now, standing behind that pulpit. Just like I seen that minister, whoever that man of God was, us tiny out the way real quick because he wanted T.I. to get up there. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, no. This is the one that need to talk. This is who we put this together for. And he let him say whatever he had to say. You know, with the baby in hand and the wife right there who you was just about to divorce, who the one you throw your little, you know, shenanigans with, all behind the pulpit. you know, it's something that's supposed to be reserved for God's people. You going to jail for that, man.
Okay, so if you think that what happened with Sabrina is the truth, that's totally different from the allegations that came about these other stories. Like, that's two totally different instances, whether he put a gun versus whether they out here roofing women. It's two different things.
No, I totally agree with what you're saying, Nick. I'm just speaking on two things specifically. One, the young lady that she played, from my vibration. And
that's the one who accused him of putting a gun to her head.
Okay, the vibration I felt from her was truth. That's what I felt. What she just said right now, she didn't just say apologize. If you listen to her closely, she said something to the fact of and admit or basically like say what happened. She didn't just say apologize and it'll be over. You know what I'm saying? So she's basically saying like admit to your faults and it'll be over, right? Now the second part I was saying don't really have anything to do with the other women or even her per se. I'm just talking about using the house of the Lord to defend your disposition, living in this worldly life with your worldly ways. It's not going to stand up, brother. And if anybody got any smarts around him, they'll tell him that's not a good move, bro. Don't do that. Take it on the chin like a man. Throw your own press conference somewhere. Throw it in your house where you film all the TV shows at. But see, you trying to get the Lord's people involved to back your play on this one, because you know you can't handle this. Or you would have been around all your homeboys and P. Diddy and whoever, and you would have been talking about this scenario. So in my opinion, I don't think that was cool for him to step in the house of the Lord. I think he stepped outside.
Well, he wasn't there for that specifically. I will say that Tiny was being acknowledged and they were giving her an award, and he was there as a support and they wanted him to speak. So it wasn't like he arranged this, you know, himself. Like they were honoring Tiny and he was also called to speak. And you know, I mean, I don't all the way agree. I disagree with your position, but I do understand how you feel about playing with God and everything like that. I don't agree with playing with God, but I don't agree.
Let me ask you this question, D. If you go up there and support, say you were married, right? And your husband got this award and you was only there in support of your husband getting this award and this acknowledgement, wouldn't you speak on that? Or would you start speaking about your troubles on the side and how people view you and all you've ever tried to do? That wasn't even appropriate for the award she was getting. He was supposed to be celebratory. He's supposed to be thankful. He's supposed to say, this is an amazing woman. She deserved this award, just like they do at the Grammys and every other show they do. You know the protocol. That man was up there trying to use that platform to defend himself in the public eye and use the house of the Lord, which is supposed to be used to worship the Lord, to get him some brownie points. And that's just what it was. I mean, a blind man could have seen that with shades on. That ain't cool.
I mean, you do got a point when you say that part, because he did not really talk about her getting the award much. So I will agree with that. I just don't agree that validates Sabrina, though. Like, Sabrina has been caught in lies. Sabrina has been made to be a character who is out for self in her own gain. And so the only thing, the part of it, like, I do agree with your stance as like, okay, well, if this is for her award, you should have been speaking on her award. I mean, when you're right, I'm going to agree with you on that point. However, I don't agree with the Sabrina part in validating her, because I don't know. And that's not saying that he didn't pull the hammer on her. I don't know, but her intentions are just, I don't know. I don't think it's coming from I'm really affected by this, forever affected. Like, it's coming from a vindictive place.
You know what she reminds me of? She reminds me of the girls that was talking about R. Kelly, and everybody kept sweeping him to the side, especially when he so-called beat the first case or whatever. But then it all came back, and it was found truth, because they was like David against the Goliath. You know, these are the Goliath, Tiny and his wife, right? I mean, T.I. and Tiny. They're the Goliaths in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Oh, girl, she's the David with the slingshot. So everybody's like, you ain't got no chance against them. You got to be some kind of at your fault. Now, when I said her vibration, in my opinion, was truthful, I'm just saying what she just spoke right now. Now, I'm not saying that she didn't have no type of, like she wasn't in on it. She didn't do it before, this and that. I'm just saying from a place of her feeling like she needed an apology and something was done wrong to her, I feel like she was speaking her truth right there. I really felt that. I could be wrong though, you know, but I felt that. I felt like it was coming from a sincere place because I feel at this point, if she was just going for the money, the lawyers that she's working with would tell her, be quiet, we're going straight forward ahead. If we want to settle this, he can settle it outside of court and we can get some money, you know, out of this situation. I feel she's running off her emotions still. And she's not caring too much about all that. She want to be made whole in the sense of, I'm not a liar and what I said was the truth. And you better let them know it was the truth or we're going to go forward, you know, with the scenario we got going on in the courts.
No. Well,
we're going to all see, though. We're going to all see.
Yeah, a lot of people feel like she's lying. A lot of people feel there are different ways. They feel like it's a ish show. It's a shit show at this point. And people are just pulling out any old stunts and any old, you know, tricks to try to bring them down. And if you look on the blogs and you see all of the stuff that is thrown at them, a lot of the stuff is ridiculous. Like, a lot of the stuff is ridiculous to me. I don't know. You
got to remember this, too. Up until jail, he still has sold out concerts. So when you're a celebrity, that comes with being a celebrity. You're going to have more people that believe you than don't believe you. So, you know, people saying whatever they have to say against, like I said, the David against the Goliath, the odds is always against her. So that don't really move me one way or another. I try to feel the person's vibration. I try to listen to the story. And then I try to just look at it like her word against his word minus the celebrity equals, if I put it in a mathematical equation. That's how I will come with my answer.
Okay. Somebody said your guest needs to do his homework. Sabrina has a history.
Where can I find these homeworks at? Because I want to study them.
Send them to his DM. If y'all got receipts on Sabrina, because he is drinking the Kool-Aid, baby. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go to Instagram. Alfila's Instagram is @_Alfila. So y'all send him all of the information that y'all dug up on Sabrina that y'all want him to know about it. Now we'll see what's happening. I don't know guilt or innocence, and I'm not going to speak on guilt or innocence. I just wish that with an allegation as strong as the allegations that people have made, I just wish in some of those cases, maybe you won't be able to have a screen record of when they put something in your drink or whatever, but at least show me when y'all was texting a link up, or show me that you even know them, or show me some type of receipt. Like, I haven't seen no credible receipt that even shows that any of these people even know them for real. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you're going to make an allegation as serious as the one that they're saying, no, you're probably not going to have a video, or no, you might not have, you know, photographs or certain things like that, because obviously when you get in those settings, you know, it's frowned upon to be taking pictures of certain things. But, you know, a text, a link up, a meetup, something, you know, something. I haven't seen nothing. And again, not saying that they're innocent. I just wish that when you make these types of allegations, some type of receipt is attached to it that gives it a little bit more validity.
I don't know. In my opinion, I just believe like this. Like when I watch these court TV shows and they get accused of all this stuff, these heinous crimes, and they say, oh, I don't want to say nothing because my lawyer told me to plead the fifth. Ain't no way I'm pleading the fifth. I wouldn't care if my reputation, my marriage, my money, my businesses. Man, I'm about to come so hard at these females that say I did something to them. You're going to be like, man, that dude right there ain't lying. He's saying we can go to court today. He's saying you can put me on the lie detector test. I'm going way out the way to prove I ain't did nothing. I'm not sending little laugh memes, and I'm not going back and forth. I'm not going to stand in front of the church.
Well, I mean, you have to also be strategic, though. Like, you can't just, I mean, you thinking off of yourself, like, you know, some of the stuff that you saying, like, you have to also be strategic. Like, I'm going to, anything you say can and will be used against you. So therefore, you do have to be strategic and how you play it and how you move. But another person brought up a good point, saying that she stabbed a couple people, which she did. And you know, one of the people that she stabbed came forward and they was like, how you sitting here talking about how he held a gun to your head, but you stabbed me, you know? So
let me ask you a question. If a woman get out of prison or county jail today and go to the club and get drunk, can a guy take her home and rape her?
Obviously not.
Why not?
Because he can't.
She's supposed to be defending herself. She can still get raped.
That's not equivalent to what we're talking about.
Well, you saying that if she stabbed people before, she shouldn't be able to get a gun put to her head? Is that what you're saying?
No, the gun put to her head was supposed to happen first, and then she was stabbing people after that. If you're traumatized from somebody doing some egregious behavior, how are you now the abuser that you were trying to call out? Like, you're the pot calling the kettle black. You're out here calling somebody out for putting a gun to your head when you out here stabbing people.
No, but that happens all the time. That's what created the monster. Not saying him per se, but you got all these women out here prostituting that was beat on, that was molested. You got all these dudes out here in gangs that was left abandoned. All those things make the monster. So, you know, a person out here stabbing and all that stuff, you got to ask yourself, like, what is the trauma that caused her to commit these atrocities and put this trauma on other people? I'm not trying to take a hard stance and say she's true. I'm just talking about psychology now. These are the things that build the monster. You know, when you look into some of these killers and gangbangers and pimps and a lot of these prostitutes' background, it's major trauma. You know, it's not like they just woke up one day and said, oh, so, you know, this is just so glamorous. I just want to go out here and try these things. You know, a lot of it is coming from a dark place. You know what I mean? And this is how they act these things out that has happened in their life and transpired in their past, you know? That's just what I see.
Hey, Meek, you are on a roll today with these topics that I've been wanting you to talk about anyway. But Fila, is it Afila? That's how you pronounce your name? Okay, so you definitely haven't, like, you probably really don't know about, like, Sabrina or her past. But I'm a person that I really admired Sabrina, like, for years, especially when she first came home from prison, because I went to prison myself. But when she first came home from prison, she was like my girl power inspiration, you know, and she has a following that is like almost like the Beehive. Like she's developed a following of women that, like, she could, anything she says kind of like goes, but not kind of goes, it goes. Like if Sabrina says it, women are going to follow it. And that's because she's really, really, really good at marketing. And I feel like if you're good at marketing, you're good at selling ideas. So but at the same time, the way she presents herself, and she has a real good gift of gab, and she's really good with business. So for me following her for all of these years, I started seeing things that was like, it started to be a little dark to me and I live in Atlanta, you know, so I've been to her events, I've supported her, but at the same time, it was like she started being this woman that was she was like always turning something into a movement. So it was like anything could happen. And it was like, it was a movement. So as far as this T.I. stuff, you know, it started out as a political movement, which first started out when her and Alexis Sky they got carjacked or whatever. They got carjacked actually, because it was with a gun, whatever the reporter said. I mean, the 911 operator said, but she started this movement with the like violence in Atlanta. That's where it started. And I felt like it was a good movement, but she didn't support you know, Keisha, the mayor of Atlanta, but T.I. was supporting the other mayor. And it was like, that's where that whole conflict began. And then she came out and said something about T.I. putting a gun to her head. Like, it was basically like, because she started this like stop the violence in Atlanta, and then she was saying like T.I. wasn't doing enough and all that other stuff. Like they was beefing about that, but she just has a very vindictive past. Like, I don't know if you know about the women. She with Shekinah, she trademarked Shekinah. When she got mad at Shekinah, she trademarked Shekinah Joe. She trademarked her name. She did the same thing to Posh. I don't know if y'all know who Hollywood Posh is, but when she got upset at Posh, she trademarked her name and she had to change her whole name. Of all of her businesses. But one thing that stood out to me that made me look at Sabrina like it was kind of like, wow, is when she was dealing with a guy and it was like the guy didn't answer the phone. She said that she asked the guy about getting an HIV test, and he never answered the phone anymore. And I'm like, to me, it sounded like he just didn't answer the phone for you anymore. But she made that into a whole HIV movement. Okay. And she got a billboard. She paid for a billboard, put this guy's face on a billboard in Atlanta in front of a gay club. And it was like, know your status, and put his face on. I don't know if people forgot when she did that, but that's when I was looking at her sideways. Like, you had to at least pay $5,000 to $10,000 to put that billboard up of that man in front of Bulldogs. And it was a gay club. Like, she just do a lot of stuff like to people. That's why people, like, if you looked at Shekinah when Shekinah was like, where she was like, that goddamn Graham, I'm getting me a restraining order, like right now. You know, she do a lot of dark things, and she's just vindictive. And I feel like this movement that she's doing right now, I don't know if you remember when the girl got the one movement that I did support was when that girl in the club had the girl Jasmine, she had supposedly got raped in the club by the Dominique guy.
Yeah, no R words, but go ahead.
Yeah, but you know, when that situation's supposed to happen, I kind of understood why but she made a movement out of that. She makes a movement out of everything. And I feel like this T.I. situation was another one of her movements, and another one of her ways of being really vindictive. And because how she speaks and how you know, convincing she is, I think it moved a lot of people. But a lot of when I saw some of the victims were saying that they were strippers, and T.I. made them to do something in order to come in there, to come in the room with them. It's like you made a choice to go in there. You made a choice to do those drugs. But I don't know. And then she, like Nick said, like she's after T.I. supposedly did that. Well, I believe T.I. did do that to her, but I believe it may have been a reason. From what I've heard, it was a reason why he did it. But she still was supporting T.I. and Tiny and being close to them. Even when T.I. and Tiny was going through that beef, and when that Mayweather stuff happened with Tiny, Sabrina was posting it on Instagram saying, like, you know, Tiny had your back and all of that when you got locked up. And she always just does the most in all situations.
All right. Did you have any closing words on that, Fila? Wrap.
Well, only thing I wanted to say was I respect your opinion. You made a lot of sense what you're talking about. Atlanta's one of my most favorite cities. I used to live out there. I've been all on the east side, south side. You know, I love Atlanta. But I do know that, you know, it's almost like the Black Hollywood to me. And it's a lot of pressure for a lot of people that's trying to be famous out there, you know, to make things more than what they are, you know, for the, hate to keep using that word clout, but basically for the publicity. You know, it's one of those cities. T.I. do it too. You know, Tiny do it too. They all do it different ways. Like, you know, when T.I. was beefing with Shorty Low, rest in peace. You know, everybody got their own angle of how they trying to get through that door we call fame. Only thing I was specifically speaking on was when she said that little part that we just captured on the show. I said that conversation right there, I felt her vibration was true. I wasn't speaking on a blanket, like kind of like that wasn't a blanket statement on her whole life story and everything she's done in life. I'm not standing and saying that she's 100. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying on that application that she made and that clip that we just showed, I felt her vibration was pure. I felt like the other side of that, when T.I. went and stood at that pulpit, not only did he not speak on the award she was there to get, she didn't even speak on it. Her head was twirling around. It was on a swivel. She was thanking everybody. She said about 2 or 3 words. I can't even recall what she said. It was that brief. And the guy who jumped up, I would assume he was some kind of authority figure in the church. He was like pulling the mic away from her to get to T.I. almost like it was set up. Like, we're not here for all that. This is just going to be the story off the ground. Now, you didn't did your part. Get out the way. T.I., come on and do your thing and speak your truth. And I just didn't feel that at all, you know. So I'm just speaking my truth, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got no dog in this fight.
I understand what you're saying.
I feel about people when they speak. I feel that you speaking the truth though, Meek Mob. You
sound listen, I feel like Sabrina comes off like that all the time. Like, she comes off very convincing. That's all I'm saying. Like that vibration that you felt, that's the vibration she always, this is the same thing. She always gives that. But it's just like she's not, and I really, really liked her, but she ain't right. All of it. She ain't right.
All righty. All right. Well, we will end on that note. Thanks, Meek Mob, for coming on. Thank you, Alfila, for also giving your opinion on this show. It's going to be people split down the middle who feel this way, that way. It is what it is. We'll see what they feel in the comments. Be sure to follow Alfila on his Instagram. At the last minute when I'm trying to close out, more people is clicking in. What you want to say, Steady?
Hey, how you doing, guys? How you feeling? What's going on? I got to show my, my support for other platforms other than rap ones. But I just wanted to say this, right? How many people have went out and tried to vindicate themselves, and people have absolutely, the masses have accepted it? I feel like people forget that no matter what you do, how you say, what you say, and everything like that, they already got their mind made up. So there's no way that T.I. is going to be able to come out and say anything that's going to either deter people or attract people to what his truth may be and what her truth is. That's all. Nothing too crazy.
No, go. I like where you're going with that. Speak some more to that.
It's just, to me, it's one of these things where people always go, hey, I'm not where I want to be in life, and that person did something that I wouldn't give up or do because of my morals and my character and stuff like that. If we've been noticing the way that T.I. been operating, Tiny hasn't been operating that same way because it seems like he's protecting her a bit. You see what I'm saying? It's like, let me be the shield and the sword for you.
Tiny a little more loser.
I mean, those your words. I'm in Atlanta all the time. You know what I mean? I'm always in Atlanta. But honestly, it's just, to me, it's like you got your mind made up. Some people want to believe in whatever society has put them in this position and stuff like that, and they may be a part of whatever grand, bigger scheme and stuff like that. And honestly, say your piece and leave it be. Because honestly, the more she keeps speaking and the more a lot more people keep speaking that's absolutely in this, he need to do what Trump do. Trump will sue your ass when you get to talking about him. You know what I'm saying? He'll drag you out through court with what's called a slap suit. Now, I don't know too many people who know exactly what a slap suit is, but it basically means big bank take little bank. I'm going to drown you out with your own lawyers because your lawyers don't do anything for free. So in that essence, it's like, basically, hey, T.I., say what you need to say, and then let her keep talking. So that way you keep building your case against her. But the fact that he's not doing that, might be an itch you trying to scratch that you can't get to. But that's
on, with the young lady when she said her piece. But the flip side of what I was going to tell her was, you got some people, like the way she was looking at, how you say her name,
Shakana.
There's people that's looking at T.I. the same way, all the way back to the gun charges and the allegations that Alpha Mega made against him. It's people that's looking at him the same way. So depending on how you feel about those two characters, you pretty much ain't gonna come off of that, and
you ain't gonna be made up regardless.
But
exactly.
That was the other side of her conversation. I was just gonna let her speak her piece, and that was that. You know what I'm saying? But that's the other side of that. Some people, the same way she was describing her, you got millions of people that describe T.I. the same way. They're saying that's why I believe he did it. So facts.
I want to know what you think about the Mary J. Blige situation.
Wait. What you mean? Hold on, what happened there?
Oh, you must have came in late. The guy, Danny Boy from Suge Knight, Death Row, is accusing or alleging that he hooked up with Mary J. when he was 15, 16, and she was 24.
Yeah, I think that. The problem with that is a lot of people ain't gonna admit it. Dudes lie when we got dang teenagers. I was definitely 16 years old sleeping with a 25-year-old. She thought the whole time I was 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm driving her car and everything. I ain't had no license, but I drive like I had them. So, I mean, I could believe it, but what did you say to get in that position?
Well, he was rolling with Suge.
Yeah, so she more than likely thought, hey, this dude right here, he looked big. Because I literally went off on somebody on Instagram for telling me my 11-year-old son looked like a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
My son is like 5'7", you know what I'm saying? But he's all of 11 years old. He looked, to me, I'm his father. He looked like he doggone 11 years old. And I'm like, bro, you can't be stereotyping these little black boys like that, turning them into grown men. That's sad, and you depriving my youngin of his adolescence. But I could believe it because when we teenagers, we definitely lie. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, people do lie. What do you feel about him bringing it up now?
Oh, because right now, Suge got his thing going on with the whole entire the blood police officer that smoked Biggie. So they trying to unravel that. And at the same time, you got who's called Reggie Wright out there and everything like that. Y'all know? Well, y'all don't know, but I'm from California anyways.
I know
but
Reggie. Bro, we from Cali.
Oh, okay, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So, you know, Reggie got the whole Gangster Chronicles and everything like that, and hopefully he ain't dead. Huh?
He telling his truth.
Yeah, so that name right now and everything like that is still going. Like, they just told you 2-3 weeks ago that the whole catalog for Death Row is for sale. You see what I'm saying? So you got that going on. You got the Biggie situation going on. This ain't nothing but somebody else trying to latch on and leech on to something. But attacking Mary, that's kind of lame. But so what? You know what I'm saying? Not to say it to you like that.
What I had to say, I said almost mirrored what you're saying, bro.
Yeah. You just trying to make a name for yourself. Dang, everybody else getting money. Everybody else doing them YouTube checks, man. Them would be like, what, $5,000, $6,000 and stuff like that. Yeah, I could do that real quick. Let me get on here. Because if you notice, a lot of people who don't have like 20,000, 30,000 subscribers been getting on these big old platforms and getting interviewed. So they getting that spotlight, and then once they start saying, yeah, I'll come to your platform to speak for like $1,000 or something like that, knowing that person, if they market it the right way, can get it back and get more subscribers and keep that sustained money. So that ain't nothing but somebody else trying to seep an opportunity out of something that, honestly, unless you're going to say she forced you to do something and make it crazy, you trying to sell a book.
What is that? Sound like somebody's stomach growling.
That's Nikki. She ain't got her dinner. I heard that one.
I'm still waiting on my dinner, but y'all go ahead.
See, I know
somebody's stomach growling or something. But go ahead, Nikki.
Oh, y'all done changed the subject on me. I was just calling in.
Oh, if you want to talk about T.I., go ahead.
I mean, I didn't catch the whole broadcast, so y'all might have said this already, but I do not think. Was the question, should he apologize to Sabrina?
No, we didn't ask.
The whole situation.
I mean, my thoughts on the situation is I don't like when people sleep with somebody famous or something and then all of a sudden they want, some money for it. Oh, the person tried to rape me. Because from what I'm hearing, people sleep with somebody famous or something. The girls that's accusing them, they can accuse them like anonymously or whatever, And I just kind of feel like people, if you
feel like they should be attached to it. Like if you're gonna be out here boldly making a claim, you should definitely be out here boldly and not anonymous. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what because it's like a real serious thing, And if people were doing drugs, and I mean, if it wasn't against their will, you should not be able to come back and accuse somebody of raping you, No
R words, but yeah.
I'm sorry. Of R wording you. I don't think that's fair to the celebrities.
One of the things that happened, and I actually spoke about this earlier, is T.I. was in jail one of these years for half the year when this person brought up this stuff in Miami. So now you got to get your months right in order, or you're gonna fail in that one.
Right. I mean, I believe they probably had a bunch of extracurricular activities with a bunch of women. Because that's how they get down. They've been with Black China. They've been with this person, that person. But now all of a sudden you want to come back and you want to cry wolf. I just don't think that's fair. If you sleep with a celebrity or whatever, I mean, you
don't think that any of the women, you don't think that they were victimized. You think that they were all willing participants?
I do. I really do. But hey, I wasn't there in the room. I will say that anything could happen, but I just don't. They don't give me creep vibes from what I've seen. Like they gonna have to drug somebody to get them in the room with them. I just don't believe that part.
All right, Mika.
Oh, Mika. I messed that one up.
So as far as the T.I. and Tiny situation, I have no opinion about that until I see receipts, because it's just all coincidental how that all came out, and it's just suspect. And that's not to say it's true, and it's not to say it's false. It's just to say that it's suspect the way that it came out, attached to Sabrina. And now she's saying, if you apologize, I'm going to be gone. Well, sis, you going to leave the victims behind? The victims you pulled into the spotlight, you're going to leave them behind now? Because you're saying if he apologizes, you're gone. But I thought this wasn't about you. I thought this was about the victims and bringing their stories to light. So I'm kind of confused on that. Like, what are her intentions? But let's go back to the Mary J. Blige situation. Danny Boy was born in October of 1977. So in 95, he would have been 17, of course, before October, and 18 come October. So I'm not being funny. Dude, you know your age. You know how old you are. Why are you trying to manipulate this and say that you are 15, 16 years old, as if your phone does not have a calculator to tell you your age in 1995? That's just ridiculous for him to be saying that, and because it sounds like you're manipulating the story on purpose. Nobody is confusing their age and throwing it off by 2 years. Come on now.
Unless you are intentionally trying to make your story more salacious, like Fila pointed out earlier.
Yeah, like you're manipulating that story, dude. Like, I don't know if you're looking for clout. I don't know if you need some attention, some love right now. But yeah, trying to get it at the expense of somebody else's reputation is not funny. I don't like this whole culture that we have now of attacking somebody's reputation. If you have a serious claim, then of course everybody has the right to speak their truth and state their claim. But to do it so that you can be manipulative or so that you can get attention, that's not funny.
Right. I believe you definitely deserve justice if something happened to you. But I mean, this woman was kicking it with them for a while. Like the last girl said, she was still supporting them after that. Even if he did, grown people get into altercations all the time. I mean, maybe he did put a gun on her. Maybe they got into a fight. Who knows? But now that you're not cool with them no more, you can't benefit off of them no more. Let's keep it all the way real. You want to try to bring up something against them when you was right there with them doing your dirt. I just don't think that's cool.
And the last thing I wanted to say, Nick, I wanted to go back to the Akon situation, because Alphelia said something that was incorrect. He stated that carjacking, he described it as like a slang or like a hood term, and that is untrue. Carjacking refers to when your car is stolen in your presence or with your knowledge. Your car being stolen means that it is without the victim being present, or you have no knowledge of it. So he was correct in the terminology that he utilized when he made the 911 call, because that was a carjacking. Because stolen means that, if you leave your car somewhere and you come back and it's gone, then that is your car being stolen. But carjacking, it does mean that the victim was there when their car was taken. So Akon did use the correct terminology. So I just wanted to correct that.
Okay, well, let me speak my piece. Leave it alone. We all can sit out here and we can debate what the law is, right? But if you was listening at the time, the 911 operator corrected him and what he was out kind of like alleging. I'm going to just go off what an officer of the law had to say, and I'm going to leave that part right there. Now, what I was talking about carjacking, and I even spoke on carjacking, and I called it slang, that's because me and Neek was talking about jacking. We didn't say carjacking. She said, my car got jacked. I said, your car being jacked is a slang term. I never said carjacking is a slang term. I was speaking on when Neek said, my car just got jacked. I said, yeah, people say that all the time. I got jacked for my chain. I got jacked for that. But I was just saying about a carjacking, it has a certain penal code, right? A car theft has a certain penal code. They call it auto theft. And I was just speaking on the legal ramifications. Now, you heard for yourself if you was listening, the 911 operator who sit there with a badge just like police and detectives, she corrected him and said, you were not carjacked. So I'm going to just rest my case right there on that, because that was the officer of the law telling him that, not me.
All right, we're gonna go to Queen Karen Military.
Yes, hi Nick.
Hey,
how you guys doing?
What's up?
Hi
Happy
there,
Memorial
guys.
Day.
as far as the guy with the well, not the guy, I'm sorry, Akon. My concern is when we say carjacking, what we usually assume, and not that we should, because terminology does matter in a situation, but when we say carjacking, we automatically assume that there was a weapon or something involved where you were forced out of your car.
But see, I don't automatically assume that.
Well, I like I said, it's like I'm not certain as to why, but it's like when we say I was carjacked, you know.
I get what you're saying, though. For you, it interprets somebody walked up to me, put a gun to me, and they pulled me out, which is how the operator
any kind of weapon or cause to do me harm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I when. Of course, like I say, that wasn't so much a concern. What really bothered me was the fact that the 911 operator, be it carjacking or me having to correct you and say that your car was stolen, is it not still of importance that this gentleman had something stolen from him?
Right.
Hey, military, let me cut in just real quick. I won't interrupt you no more. But
That's fine.
In the climate that we're in right now, this is very serious.
Right.
Black men getting killed by the police. That's like saying, what's the difference of saying a man just home invaded me and a man just came in my garage and stole a tool? It's a big difference, because how she dispatched that call is how aggressive those police officers is finna hit that scene. It makes a lot of difference.
You're right. You're right. And let me say this. My father was a police officer. He's retired. So I do understand in this climate. And again, like I said, even at that, the operator still
had no sense of urgency for what he was
right. I mean, and not that exactly. I mean, important or not, or was it important that it was done? And let's see how, what happened. And it don't even have to go into the detail, but the wording itself and just the way she reacted is where I found a problem in it. Regardless, like I said, you get carjacked or it was stolen, but my damn car, I'm sorry, my doggone car, somebody took my stuff. So that was one point. I also want to make a point on as far as T.I. with Sabrina. When Sabrina initially came out, what I want to bring to everyone's attention is that Sabrina stated herself that she was upset at another assistant that was hired by T.I. and Tiny, because this assistant was treating Tiny as if Tiny was the maid. So she got mad and she jumped on her. Well, doing so, she said right after that, then he put a gun to my head and told me he would just blow my brains out. So, again, we don't know what happened in between. I just know that either way, immediately I found a problem with that, because you're saying all this and now you're on the phone with someone, a young lady. Her first initial contact was with a young lady that was based out of California, just had a baby recently. She was gonna accept the invitation to go over to Atlanta for an interview, and she decided not to because she had just had a baby. When she spoke with T.I., and this is just paraphrasing that story, when she spoke with T.I., the position that she applied for, there was not they didn't have what she would be doing. It just said that she would be of assistance to T.I. and Tiny. So when she called, they told her that we'll discuss it when you get here. She felt uncomfortable about the situation and decided not to take the job. However, in saying that, with Sabrina going the way she was headed, she spent a narrative as if this child was going to be targeted. To have that, I had an issue with that. I'm not saying that either one of them are lying, because I wasn't there. I don't know. Where I found the problem again was when Sabrina began to create a narrative for people that were not, you know, nothing. They don't know. They didn't go. This is what you just felt strange about. And then to follow the history of Sabrina being a part of the recruiting status way back then, and then being a member of said threesome. Again, we do what we do in our bedrooms as an adult. That ain't my business. I don't invite anyone to my bedroom, and I'm not going into anyone else's. I felt like, again, she was leading a narrative when she made it appear that everyone was minors, or there were minors. That's just wrong.
All right.
Wrong. And with the thing to me, T.I. has not made, well, he did come out and make the comment. However, it was stated in that when he made that first initial thing, he did bring light to his wife did not deserve that. She was too good to people. But he also said that he wasn't supposed to speak. I will say, I'm a teacher. I will say, however, words can be used against us. So he's not supposed to answer everything. We as people, let's see this. Dog mess don't stink unless you step in it. Mm-hmm. So if you don't stir in it, it don't get stinky. And we don't have to answer to that which we know we are no part of. Because every one of us, whether we're rich, famous, or not, we have a name. Our name is our brand, and it's our own label, and we are to protect that by any means necessary.
All right.
And with protecting that, sometimes you do that without saying anything, because people will speak and destroy themselves. Because if you notice, Sabrina's doing that on her own. And I'm sorry, that's all I'm saying.
Come on. All right. All right. Thank you so much. We are going to wrap on that note and close out. I want to thank everybody who is on here. If you guys want to shout out y'all social media where people can find you, you guys can go ahead and do that. And then we're going to close out. Go ahead, Phil.
I got one thing I want to say. Thanks for coming on, Cody Nash, and all the other young ladies.
Steady.
I want to wrap it up like this, and I want to just do a recap, and I want to ask the crowd that's listening around the country, what have we learned tonight? We learned, do not go to the gas station and leave your keys in the car, or get you one of those new things that they putting out by Apple. You can leave it in your wallet, leave it on your keychain. You can know where your vehicle at, your wallet at, your girl at, or whatever, right? We learned that if you are a swinger, you're going to have a lot of fun, but you might be exposed, and you got to be ready for that. And we also learned that just because you can shoot a jump shot don't mean you should be in the NBA or anybody else's league. And with that said, thanks for watching Neek at Night tonight. I hope y'all had a great time. It's been a fabulous experience.
All right. And if you guys have not visited my website, be sure to visit my website. Look at the stuff going across the screen. You can find my Instagram, my Cash App, if y'all want to send me some coins, okay? And you can find my website down below, spelled exactly like my channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Blessings.